Good morning, Jolly Cruise family. My name is Jason, and I am the Jolly Cruise vlogger. And I'm not only a Jolly Cruise vlogger, I'm also a part-time wannabe YouTube vlogger, part-time wannabe travel advisor, part-time wannabe Santa Claus, part-time wannabe retired and not do a daggone thing but cruise and make videos all day long. So, I'm kind of like a jack of all trades and a master of none. Or maybe it's a Jason of all trades and a master of none, because my name's not Jack. But anyway, you understand where I'm coming from. But I get asked a lot of the times, what's the best cruise? I can't tell you. I absolutely cannot tell you which one's the best cruise. And if you talk to 100 different people, you might get 100 different answers. You might get a lot of people that says, oh, well, Carnival is the best because of X, Y, and Z. You might say Royal Caribbean is the best because I'm loyal to Royal. Honestly, and when it comes down to it, I am more loyal to my checkbook over any other cruise line. So with that being said, and being loyal to our checkbook more than we are into any other cruise line, especially now that loyalty seems to be changing for a lot of different cruise lines, we're going to focus on our checkbook and to see who offers the lowest per person per day price. In order to do this, we're looking at doing our best of an apples to apples comparison and not apples to oranges, because if we start comparing apples to oranges, then we're going to add some grapes in there and some bananas in there, and then the next thing you know, we got a fruit salad. Yummy, yummy. Fruit salad. Yummy, yummy. Sorry, Wiggles break. Had to do that one in there. So how are we going to do an apples to apples comparison and not end up with fruit salad? Yummy, yummy. We're going to take the Carnival Mardi Gras, the Disney Treasure, the NCL Prima, the MSC Seashore, and the Royal Caribbean Star of the Seas. We're going to take all those 5 ships, look at the same week in August of 2026. Why did I pick August of 2026? Because that's probably one of the last cruises that a family of 4 can go on before school starts. So all the criteria is going to be the same. They're all 7-day cruises. They're all balcony staterooms. They're all 4 balconies of 4. So there's 2 adults and 2 kids, ages 9 and 10. Not that that really matters in there, but we're going to put that in there just in case. Then we're going to take all that criteria, go to each individual cruise line's website, and book a cruise to see what our total cost is going to be. Now, the total cost we're going to get for the cruise, then we're going to add gratuities because we have to pay those. Please don't remove your gratuities. Just a side note on that one. And then we're going to see how much it is per person per day for each of these cruise lines. So of the cruise ships that we're going to do, the Carnival Mardi Gras, the MSC Seashore, the Disney Treasure, the NCL Prima, and the Royal Caribbean Star of the Seas. They're all around here. Which one do you think is going to be the highest price per person per day? And which one do you think is going to be the lowest price per person per day? You got that? Great. Now lock it in your brain. Now let's take each individual cruise ship, book the cruise to determine which one actually has the lowest price per person per day. Now, side note, lowest price does not mean best value, because everybody's got different values on different things. This is just 100% price, so we could do apples to apples and not have fruit salad. Starting with the Carnival Mardi Gras, because it is the one that comes up first when you're thinking alphabetically by cruise line. It is a 7-day cruise from Port Canaveral going to Grand Turk, Amber Cove, Nassau, and their private destination of Celebration Key. It is going to be August 1st through August 8th. It's a Saturday to Saturday. A balcony cabin for 4 is going to cost before gratuities $3,788, $448 for gratuities, bringing the total to $4,236. So on a per person basis, it's going to be $1,059. And then on a per person per day basis, it is $151.29. Moving on to the Disney Treasure, our 7-day cruise is going to visit the ports of Tortola in the British Virgin Islands, St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Disney's own private island of Castaway Cay. Now, balcony for 4 on this particular cruise is going to run $11,437, $448 for gratuities, bringing the total to $11,885, which equates to $2,971.25 per person, or $424.46 per person per day for a 7-day cruise aboard the Disney Treasure. For our 7-day cruise on the MSC Seashore, going to the ports of Nassau, Cozumel, Costa Maya, and their private island of Ocean Cay, our balcony of 4 is going to cost us $2,972, $336 in gratuities, bringing the total to $3,308, which is a per person average of $827. On a per person per day basis, that brings the total to $118.14. In looking at our 7-day cruise on the NCL Prima, which is one of the smaller ships of all the ones that we're looking at, we're going to go to Great Stirrup Cay, which is NCL's private island, Falmouth, Jamaica, Georgetown, Grand Cayman, as well as Cozumel. Now, a balcony for 4 on the NCL Prima for this particular week is going to cost us $5,358.72, which that does include the $560 of gratuities. So that averages out to $1,339.68 per person, or $191.38 per person per day. The last ship that we're going to talk about is also the newest ship that we're going to talk about, which is Royal Caribbean's Star of the Seas. This 7-night cruise is going to go to Perfect Day Coco Cay, which is their private island, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Phillipsburg and St. Martin. An ocean view balcony on this particular cruise for 4 is going to cost $7,767.68 with $518 in gratuities, bringing the total to $8,285.68, an average of $2,071.42 per person. Break it down on a per person per day basis, it's $295.92. Oh my goodness, that was a lot of information and a lot of numbers, and I'm so glad that you did not fall asleep. I saw you doze off a little bit, so your eyes got real heavy during it a little bit. I get that, I understand that, but I'm glad that you made it this far. And now that you're this far, I need to know, does it surprise you? Does it surprise you that MSC has the lowest per person cost of a 7-day balcony cruise for 4 out of Port Canaveral? Does it surprise you? How about Disney? On the flip side, does it surprise you that Disney is 3.5 almost times the price of what an MSC cruise is? Is price everything? No. There's value that is not in these numbers, and you can't put a price on value because what you value is different from what I value. So everybody's got different values that they put on different bells and whistles and accommodations and things like that that cruise ships do have. But the one thing that everybody has in common is price. And when it comes down to it, we all know that money makes the world go round, and the only way that we can go around the world is to have money. This is the first video in the series. I am going to look at other ports. We're going to look at Miami and Tampa and Galveston and Los Angeles and Seattle. We're going to look at all these different ports to figure out who actually has the lowest price per person per day for a 7-day balcony cruise for 4. Because in the end, we all know that a cruise day is better than a work day any day.